I met a Gypsy.
How do you go about choosing a 2-stroke or a 4-stroke? Because I think that's another cool thing about enduro riders, or like the world that you're living in, is like you can ride so many different bikes, and that would be fun in itself, I think.
Yeah, I feel pretty lucky that I'm in this position, and thankfully, like, Husky are super on board. I think as long as I'm winning the races, that I'm doing well in the races I'm supposed to do well in, they're happy to say, like, yeah, you can have a 450 motocross bike, you can do whatever, like, you can have a beach race engine to go and do beach races, like, they're super on board with it, and which is cool. But it depends on the race more than anything. I think people are probably going to get mad at this, but I actually prefer to ride a 4-stroke. Like, most of the time I enjoy riding a 4-stroke more. I feel I can, for like majority of just general riding, if I just had to pick a bike to go for a trail ride on or whatever, it would be a 4-stroke.
And what one do you like?
Between a 450 or a 350 or 450. I think if I needed to go from A to B as fast as possible, like around like a special test or like a classic enduro, I think a 450 is faster. I think because when I broke my leg a few years ago, I had drop foot for about a year, so my foot basically didn't lift up whatsoever, my left foot. So I still struggle to change gear quite a bit. So like I can't ride a 250 or a 125 fast anymore at all, just because I can't change gear fast enough. So yeah, like 450s are probably the best, like fastest for me to ride around a motocross track or to ride around a special test or whatever. But we ride a 350 4-stroke indoors for Super Enduro track. It's a cool bike. Like our bikes, the engines are pretty sweet. Like they rev pretty hard and they're geared pretty low just to try and avoid stalling it, or just because the tracks are super tight. But the engines have got so much grunt and like so much bottom end power. Like it's just like like it's so sweet to ride. Like when you're hitting logs, and it's quite difficult for most people to probably understand if they're not used to like smashing into logs, because usually you'd see a log on a track and I'm going to place my front. I'm going to place my front wheel and I'm going to, use my body, whereas it's in a Super Enduro track where just like loading the thing up on the revs and just smashing into it and trying to jump as far as possible off it. Like it's pretty backward to comprehend, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, but it's cool. And then like the super gnarly extreme races, I do think a lot of them you could actually do pretty good, and there's advantages to riding a 4-stroke. But when it gets so difficult where you got to start pushing the bike and you need that instant power, that like whop and just like instant power and to just start pulling and lugging the bike around and stuff like that, the 2-stroke just definitely helps. I think these days there's not actually much difference in the weight, like the dry weight of the bike, but the 4-stroke definitely feels heavier, when you have to start like maneuvering it about, and you're going super slow and zigzagging or like weaving the bike through super technical things. I think it's naturally better on a 2-stroke. So most extreme races, I'd say like 95% of extreme races or hard enduros would be 2-stroke. There's just the occasional one where it's not so technical and it's like the faster track and there's a bit of a speed element to it. But then, most of the races, wherever possible, I would choose to ride a 4-stroke just because I enjoy it more.
Yeah, and what 2-stroke are you riding? Are you riding the 300?
Yeah, 300 TPI, just maximum power.
So good, aren't they?
Yeah, just maximum power. And I mean, like the fuel injection now, like I won't lie, when it first came out, it was definitely it's new technology, like a 2-stroke injected bike. Like it was a lot of change, and and they definitely had some teething issues to start off with. But now I would say they're such a good bike, and like the versatility of them and what you can do with them, and like you can just go for how long they just go and just ride. All you got to do is put fuel in them, and like they're just bulletproof, to be honest. Even stock bikes, like when I go to South Africa down to my girlfriend's place, I usually just get a stock bike there, or usually it's not even new, it's just like one of the team bikes from the season, but like a stock bike, and it just blows me away, to be honest, with how good they are. Like obviously our bikes are pretty special and we work quite hard testing and stuff like that, but then you get on a stock bike and you're like, fuck, these are actually like pretty sweet. It's it is quite impressive, to be honest. And I think like the KTM group between Husky, Gas and KTM, they're so far ahead in the thought process of certain things, and like the certain design areas and stuff like that. Like the position they're at now in terms of bikes is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I completely agree. I did a enduro race a couple years ago on the 300. I can't remember whether it was the TPI. How long's that been out for?
They came out in 17 or 18.
Maybe it was.
But if it was an XC model, I think they came out in 19. So it was like if it was the cross country model.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. It was definitely no.
But either way, yeah.
Maybe it was actually because it was.
Did you have to mix the petrol?
Oh, I didn't do shit.
Yeah, that's full factory then.
Husky was just like, yeah, if I can ride this. I had the 350 and the 300 for this enduro race. It was like this 6 hour that one of those team races. He's actually like one of my best mates now, but he was like riding on this team Husky, and then it was the editor of one of the magazines, and Trent went out, did his first lap, broke his fucking foot, like broke his foot. So, and then the other dude was like half running the event, so I had to do this 6 hour race pretty much by myself, and I was swapping back and forward between the 300 and the 350, and I actually really liked the 300, and the Rosie from KTM Husky, she said, she's like, just put it in third gear and just leave it there. Just do the whole track. And I was like, nah, I went out the first lap and I was like in first and second. And then there was one section I was like kind of struggling with. And I did just put it in third gear. I was like, fuck it, I'm already doing shit. And I just put it in third gear and it just pulled its way smooth up the hill. It actually blew me away. And then when it's like half kind of hard enduro style and then half grass track motocross, and the thing fucking hammered on the motocross track.
Yeah, they're fast.
Couldn't believe how fast it was.
Nah, they're for versatility and how much abuse they take. Like they just go forever. And like I know just from my training bikes, like if I'm away somewhere and I haven't got a mechanic with us or whatever, like they don't really get touched. I'm actually not too bad with the spanners. I just can never be asked to do it. Really, thankfully, I'm fortunate enough to not really need to. But yeah, they don't get touched much. I occasionally tap the dust off the air filter, and they just go for hours and hours. Like you got to take your hat off for how well they're put together and how good they are.
Well, it's crazy too because like years and years ago, the like keep taking money, kick the mother. Like they just had the worst reputation, and you were a kook if you owned one. And nowadays, like you're a kook if you don't. Yeah, no, they've built up such a like respectable one. And I was actually at the factory last week for 2 days, and like went around the museum and stuff. The like motor hall, which has been open a couple of years, but for some reason, one reason or another, I'd never actually been rounded and stuff. And like they're like the history and like where they've come from and what they've done, and like you get so much respect for the brand. To be honest, they've like really done a lot for like and thought about it, and you've got to give them a lot of credit. To be honest, it's pretty impressive. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.